Before you conquer the world, you must first conquer yourself. Every day, a silent war begins not against others, but against the weaker version of you. The war between comfort and growth, between desire and discipline. Most people lose this war long before it begins because they fight to feel good, not to become great. Discipline is not punishment. It is freedom. The question is, can you face yourself long enough to win? There is an enemy that lives closer to you than your own shadow. It knows your fears. It knows your weaknesses. It whispers when you are tired. It speaks when you are uncertain. And every time you listen, you lose a piece of yourself. That enemy is you. You wake up every morning thinking the fight is out there, in the world, in your job, in your relationships. But the real war begins the moment you open your eyes. It's the battle between who you are and who you are supposed to become. It's not fought with weapons, it's fought with choices. Every time you hit snooze, every time you say, "I'll do it later," you're not postponing your goals, you're surrendering to your weaker self. Discipline is not about waking up early or working harder. It's about refusing to be controlled by the voice that says, "Not today." You see, most people never lose to others. They lose to comfort, they lose to fear, they lose to their own excuses, and what's tragic is, they don't even know they're losing. Because the enemy doesn't attack loudly, it whispers softly. It tells you to rest when you haven't even tried. It tells you to give up right before the breakthrough, and the more you listen, the quieter your potential becomes. Until one day you no longer hear it at all. But there's another voice, silent, steady, powerful. The voice of the warrior inside you. It doesn't scream, it doesn't beg. It waits for you to remember who you are. The moment you choose discipline over desire, you awaken that warrior. The moment you do what is hard instead of what is easy, you take back control. Every drop of sweat, every second of resistance that is not suffering, that is transformation. Because discipline is self-respect in motion. It is the art of saying, "I deserve better," and proving it through action. It is not about perfection. It's about persistence. Not about punishment, but preparation. You are not at war with your life. You are at war with the version of you that refuses to grow. And the only way to win is to fight back every single day. There are no trophies for comfort, no rewards for excuses. Only silence for those who gave up too soon. So look within. That's where the real enemy hides. And that's also where the power to defeat him begins. Most people wait for motivation to arrive. They wait for the perfect morning, the perfect energy, the perfect mood. They wait for the universe to whisper, "Now is the time." But that whisper never comes, because motivation is not a signal. It's a feeling, and feelings are temporary. They rise and fall like waves. If you build your life on them, you'll drown in inconsistency. Let's be honest, you don't lose because you're weak. You lose because you're waiting to feel ready. You tell yourself, "Once I'm inspired, I'll start." But what if I told you that inspiration begins only after you start? The world has fooled you into believing that success begins with motivation. It doesn't. Success begins with movement. You move first, the feeling follows later. Motivation is the spark that starts the fire, but discipline is the wood that keeps it burning when everything goes dark. Every great warrior, every monk, every master you admire, they don't wake up inspired every day. They wake up committed. They don't rely on mood, they rely on structure, because motivation is emotional. Discipline is spiritual. One depends on energy, the other creates energy. When you're disciplined, you don't ask your mind for permission. You simply do what needs to be done. You rise when you're tired. You train when you don't want to. you move when the world sleeps. Because discipline doesn't care about comfort, it cares about growth. The truth is, the mind will always search for the easy way. It will always offer you comfort disguised as peace, but peace doesn't come from ease, it comes from mastery. It comes from knowing that you showed up, even when you didn't feel like it. That is where confidence is born. That is where self-respect grows. Every act of discipline is a vote for the future you want, and every time you wait for motivation, you vote for the person you used to be. So stop chasing feelings and start building systems. Wake up at the same hour, train at the same time. Do the work when it's hardest, because repetition creates rhythm, and rhythm creates power. In the monastery, the monks don't ask, "Do I feel like training today?" They ask, "Is it time?" That one question changes everything, because when you stop waiting for motivation, you become unstoppable. And the truth is, you were never lacking motivation. You were lacking discipline. The illusion ends here. Now the real work begins. Most people run from pain as if it's a curse, a punishment, a sign that something has gone wrong. But the truth is, pain is not here to destroy you. Pain is here to teach you. Every time you feel discomfort, you are standing at the doorway of transformation. And most people never walk through it. They quit, they turn back, they choose comfort and call it peace. But peace is not the absence of pain. Peace is the understanding of it. It is knowing that pain is part of the process, that growth requires struggle, that the flower must break through the dirt before it sees the sun. Think about it, the body grows stronger only through resistance. The muscles tear before they build. The mind expands only when challenged, and the spirit evolves only when it's tested. So when life gets hard, when things don't go your way, when the pain feels unbearable, don't ask, "Why me?" Ask, "What is this trying to make me become?" Because every pain has a purpose. Every storm carries a lesson. Every wound hides wisdom. The pain you feel today is the foundation of the strength you'll stand on tomorrow. Those long nights, those silent tears, those battles no one saw, they are not proof of weakness. They are evidence of endurance. And endurance is the birthplace of greatness. You cannot skip pain and expect growth. You cannot evolve while running from what's meant to refine you. Pain is the training ground of the soul. It burns away what is not real until only truth remains. Look at the monks, the warriors, the masters. They do not avoid pain. They invite it. They sit in silence, in stillness, in struggle, because they know that pain is a mirror. It shows them where they still have work to do. It reveals what is unhealed, what is undisciplined, what is unfinished within. So the next time you feel pain, physical, emotional, or spiritual, don't escape it, don't numb it. Breathe into it, face it with presence, not panic, because beyond that pain lies your power. Remember, the diamond is just coal that refused to surrender under pressure. You are that diamond in progress. The heat is not here to break you, it's here to shape you. And one day, when you look back, you'll realize that the moments that hurt the most were the very moments that built you the most. Pain is not the enemy, it is the path, and those who walk it awaken. Discipline gives you direction. But consistency, that's what builds destiny. Everyone can start strong for a day, for a week, maybe even a month. But only the few who stay consistent, even when the fire fades, ever reach mastery. Consistency is not exciting. It's not glamorous, it's not loud, it's quiet, repetitive, unseen. It's doing the same thing, the same way, over and over, long after the emotion has disappeared. And that's why most people never become who they could be, because they mistake consistency for boredom, when in truth, consistency is devotion. The monk trains not because it feels good. He trains because it is his ritual. Every movement, every breath, every repetition is a conversation with the self. It's not about perfection, it's about presence. You see, success doesn't belong to the fastest or the loudest. It belongs to the most consistent. The one who shows up when no one claps, the one who keeps walking even when the path disappears. That is the difference between average and legendary. Each day, you repeat a positive action. You carve it into your identity. Wake early once, and it's a choice. Wake early for a year, and it becomes who you are. That's the power of ritual. It rewires your being. People think discipline is hard, but inconsistency is harder, because inconsistency keeps you restarting the same chapter of your life. Every time you stop, you lose momentum. Every time you quit, you erase progress. And the worst part, you teach your mind that your word means nothing. But when you stay consistent, even in small ways, you build a reputation with yourself. You start to trust you again. You begin to believe in your own strength, not because of what you say, but because of what you do. That's why consistency is sacred. It's not about working all the time. It's about showing up with purpose again and again. The morning meditation, the evening journal, the daily workout, the disciplined breath, each repetition is a seed planted in your future. And eventually, that future blooms into peace. When the world gets loud and chaotic, your rituals will keep you grounded. When motivation dies, your consistency will keep you alive. When doubt whispers you can't, your habits will answer, "Watch me." Remember, success is not built in intensity, it's built in continuity. You don't need to do everything. You just need to do something every day. Small steps, repeated endlessly. That's how masters are made. That's how peace is earned, and that's how you transform your life, not through a single decision, but through the ritual of consistency. Your mind is the most powerful tool you will ever possess, and the most dangerous enemy if left untrained. It can lift you into greatness or bury you in limitation. It can whisper courage or scream excuses. And the difference between those two realities is not luck, it's mastery. Every warrior knows the mind must serve, not command. If you are not in control of your mind, then someone or something else is. Most people don't fail because they are weak. They fail because they are distracted. Their mind jumps from thought to thought, like a leaf blown by the wind. One moment they are determined, the next they are doubtful, and that constant noise inside their head prevents them from hearing the truth of their spirit. To master the mind, you must first become aware of it. Watch your thoughts as they appear. Don't fight them. Don't follow them. Just observe like clouds passing in the sky. When you realize you are not your thoughts, you discover freedom. Because then you can choose which ones deserve your attention. Anger, fear, doubt, laziness, they will still visit, but they no longer control the house. You will. Your mind is a weapon, but a weapon without discipline is dangerous. A sword in the hands of a master protects. A sword in the hands of a fool destroys. So train your mind as a warrior trains his blade. Sharpen it daily through silence, focus, and repetition. Feed it wisdom, not noise. Surround it with truth, not distraction. Because what you feed your mind, you eventually become. In the monastery, we say, the undisciplined mind is like a wild horse. It will throw you off at the first sound of fear. But a trained mind, it carries you through storms. The power of thought creates reality. If you believe you are weak, you act weak. If you believe you are powerful, you act with strength. This is not fantasy, it's focus. You cannot build a strong body with a weak mind. You cannot live a peaceful life with a chaotic mind. Everything begins inside, so guard your thoughts like sacred ground. Meditate, breathe, reflect, speak less, observe more, and when the mind begins to wander, bring it home again and again until it obeys. Because when your mind listens to you, no fear can control you, no failure can define you, no chaos can break you. When the mind is your master, you are a slave. When the mind is your servant, you are free. And that is the moment you stop reacting and start creating. At some point, the path becomes silent. No applause, no validation, no audience, just you and the road that never ends. This is where most people stop. They think the silence means they failed, but for the disciplined, this silence is sacred. Because in the silence, the real transformation begins. Discipline isn't loud. It doesn't need to announce itself. It's in the small details, the quiet mornings, the lonely nights, the moments when no one is watching, but you still show up. That is where warriors are made. Being a warrior isn't about violence, it's about presence. It's about mastering the chaos inside you. It's about staying calm when the world tests you, and staying grounded when success tempts you. Every day, the warrior of discipline rises not to prove anything to others, but to honor the promise he made to himself. A promise to never stop evolving, to never betray his purpose, because the greatest victory is not over others, it is over your own reflection. You versus you. The undisciplined mind chases comfort. The disciplined soul chases truth. And the truth is the world doesn't reward talent. It rewards consistency. Not brilliance, but endurance. The disciplined one understands every act of control is a step toward freedom. You train your body to obey. You train your mind to focus. You train your emotions to serve, not rule. And one day, you wake up unstoppable. People will look at your peace and think it's luck. They will see your results and think it's talent. But only you will know the truth that it was built in silence through discipline, one unseen moment at a time. Every morning you rose when you could have slept. Every time you stayed calm when you could have reacted. Every time you kept going when you could have quit. You were building the invisible armor of your spirit. And now that armor protects you from what used to destroy you. The warrior of discipline does not need validation because he is guided by something deeper, purpose. He doesn't fear the storm, he becomes it. He doesn't run from pain, he walks through it. He doesn't wait for peace, he creates it. This is what discipline truly is. Not control over life, but control over self. Not resistance to reality, but acceptance of it. You cannot choose what life gives you, but you can choose how you respond. That is your power. That is your weapon. That is your freedom. So today, make a vow to rise when you fall, to move when you're tired, to speak with truth, to live with purpose, to walk the path of discipline, not for recognition, but for revelation. Because when you live with discipline, you no longer chase life. Life begins to flow through you. The world does not need more motivated people. It needs more disciplined souls, calm, focused, and unshakable. Be one of them. Be the warrior of discipline. And remember, the war within never ends, but the disciplined mind never loses.